And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. This video will be my 2025 TBR Hopefuls, so let's jump into it. As I'm talking about these books with you, I will also be putting the covers of the books and series on the screen. That way you can see the author, because I don't know the authors off the top of my head. So let's jump into it. The first book that I want to read this year, and I'm actually currently reading it right now, is Lights Out. And a couple of my book besties actually loved and recommended this book to me, so I'm very excited to read it and see where it takes me on my dark romance journey. Following up with Lights Out, the second book I want to read this year is going to be the second book of the series, which is called Caught Up. Now keep in mind, these books are in no particular order. It just so happens that I'm already reading Lights Out, so I went ahead and put that one first. But let's continue to the third book. The third book that I really want to read this year is Little Stranger. I got this close to just saying F it and purchasing the audiobook, but unfortunately the audiobook is narrated by Joe Arden, and we are not supporting Joe Arden at this moment, so I just chose not to do that, and I will be buying the physical copy this year to read. So this fourth book that I will be reading this year is probably the biggest release of the year, and I will say it is the book that I'm most excited to read this year, and that is Onyx Storm. Now, if you are on Book Talk or you read, then you know about the Empyrean series, and this book currently has most of us in a chokehold, so I will be getting that. Next book that I really want to read this year, and I actually already have this book on my shelf, is Sky Shade. This book I intended to read last year, but life got in the way, so that did not end up happening, but I will be reading it this year. Now, the next two books are actually a duology, so I will be reading One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I also intended to read this last year, but again, life got in the way and that didn't happen. The next book is actually going viral right now on TikTok, and I will be purchasing it very soon, but that is The Nightingale. And people are bawling their eyes out over this book, which made me want to buy it even more because I am a sucker for books that make me emotional. So I will be reading that this year. Now, the next book that I mentioned is the second book that I'm most excited about this year, and that is Phantom by H.D. Carlton. If you read the Cat and Mouse duology, then you know exactly what Phantom is, and we are waiting very patiently for that release date, girl. I will be buying it and reading it. So this next one that I'm going to tell you is actually part of a series, and it is a part of the Sarah J. Maas kingdom, but it is the Crescent City series, and it disappointed a lot of people. So I'm very nervous to read it, and the books are about as big as my head, but I know that ACOTAR 6 is coming out very soon, and I need to read Crescent City first. So unfortunately, that is the go. So this next series I have been wanting to read for so long, but for one, the books are kind of expensive, and there's a lot of books, so that makes it even more expensive, but that is the Lords series. If you know, you know. If you are a dark romance reader, you probably want to read this series. Personally, I would sell my soul just to have this series in my possession. Anyways, the next book that I want to read this year is Quicksilver. And I wanted to read it when it came out, but there was a lot of things happening to where the cover was going to get changed, and then I don't know if it actually did change, but I wanted the original cover, so I didn't end up buying it, but I will be getting it and reading it this year. Okay, the next two, one I already have and one has not been released yet, but that is What Did You Do and Where Did You Go? Now, I did read How Does It Feel? It is right here, and I absolutely loved it. I did start What Did You Do, and I got sucked into another book, so I ended up putting that one down, but I will be picking it back up and reading it this year. Okay guys, with all of that being said, it might not seem like a lot of books to you, but keep in mind, I set my goal last year to read 100 books, and I read 9. So if that isn't a big slap in the face, then I don't know what is. And a lot of these are series, so I wanted to keep an open mind and make a realistic goal for myself, one that I won't end up disappointing in the end. If anyone has any more reading suggestions or any other books that are being released this year that you think I would love, then please comment them down below. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on my post notifications so that you're notified when I upload. But I will see you in the next video. Bye!